Hey there. Have you ever stopped to think about what's actually happening when we talk? I mean, we think it's all about the words, but that's just scratching the surface. Underneath, there's this whole hidden world of signals and music and meaning. So today, we're going to peel back those layers and look at how we really communicate.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start with how one little phrase can mean a dozen different things. Then we'll break it all down to the tiny sounds of speech, look at the power of emphasis, the music in our voices, all the messages we send without words, and finally, the secret sauce for sounding totally fluent.
So first things first, let's talk about what's going on beyond the actual words. We think words are the whole deal, but a lot of the time, they're just the box. The real message, the feeling, the real intent, that's all hidden in the layers we're about to dive into.
To really get what I'm talking about, let's just try a little experiment. I want you to think about a super common, everyday phrase, something you've said a million times. How many different ways can you really say it?
Okay, here's the phrase. I'm fine. Said just like that, nice and flat, it's a pretty standard answer to how's it going. But come on, we all know it's almost never that simple, right? See? The words never change, but the meaning does. Completely. If I say I'm fine, you know I'm definitely not. If I say I'm fine, I'm looking for reassurance. And I'm fine, well, that could be genuine joy. This little bit of magic is all thanks to these hidden layers of speech we're going to explore.
So how do we build all this incredible, complex meaning? Well, you have to start from the ground up, with the absolute raw materials of language, the individual sounds.
These little building blocks are called phonemes. Think of them like Lego bricks for language. They're the smallest possible sound that can change a word's entire meaning. You take a k sound, an ass sound, and a t sound, you put them together, you get cat. But just swap that first brick for a bus sound, and suddenly you have a totally different animal, bat. And what's wild is just how tiny the difference between these sounds can be. Take the t sound and the d sound. The only physical difference is a little vibration in your throat. Seriously, try it with me. Put your hand on your throat and make the t sound. T, t, t. You don't feel anything, right? Now do the same with a d sound. D, d, d. Feel that buzz? That tiny vibration is the only thing that separates a word like try from dry.
Okay, so we've used our phonemes to build words, but the next layer of meaning is all about where we put the emphasis, the stress. And this is like a magic switch that can change what a word does entirely.
For instance, if I say export with a stress on that first syllable, I'm talking about a noun, a thing. An export is a product we're selling.
But now watch this. I just shift the stress and say export. Suddenly, it's a verb. It's an action. The letters are the same, the sounds are the same, but that little shift in emphasis totally changes the word's job.
And this works for whole sentences, too. You could say, Brad wants to marry my daughter. Okay, simple statement. But if you say, Brad wants to marry my daughter, well, now the meaning is completely different. The stress is pointing right at the surprising part. You can't believe it's Brad of all people. Now, from stress, let's zoom out a little and talk about the actual melody of our speech. This isn't just about one emphasized syllable. It's about the music we make with the rise and fall of our voices.
So we have two big things here, pitch and intonation. Pitch is just how high or low your voice is in general. You know, it goes up when you're excited, down when you're serious. But intonation is the pattern, the actual melody within a sentence. And that's what signals what we're trying to do.
For example, listen to me say this. You'll arrive at 8 o'clock. You hear how my voice fell at the end there? That downward slide is a code that tells you this is a statement. This is a fact.
But now, same exact words, listen to what happens when I change the music. You'll arrive at 8 o'clock? Boom. It's a question. That simple rising melody at the end completely transformed the sentence from a statement into a question.
So far, we've talked all about sound, but a huge part of our message is sent without making a single peep. This is the world of the unspoken, the stuff that happens alongside our words. This stuff basically breaks down into two categories. You've got the vocal features that aren't words, like your volume, shouting versus whispering, or your tone. And then there's the whole physical side of things, your facial expressions, shrugging your shoulders, how you stand, even how close you stand to someone.
Now, here is a really important catch. Unlike the music of a question, this body language stuff is not universal, not even close.
A gesture that's positive in one culture can be seriously offensive in another. Things like eye contact, personal space, it all depends on where you are in the world.
Okay, for our final layer, there's one more secret that separates someone who's just speaking a language from someone who sounds truly natural. And it's this: fluent speakers don't build their sentences one word at a time. They use a powerful shortcut.
This shortcut is using what we call lexical phrases, or just chunks. Think of them as pre-made combos that we've already memorized. When you say something like, by the way, you're not thinking about the 3 separate words. You're just grabbing that one whole unit from your brain. It makes speaking so much faster and smoother.
And we build up a massive internal library of these. You start with a common frame like, I'll see. And over time, you attach these common endings to it, and they become solid chunks themselves. I'll see what I can do. I'll see you later. You just pull the whole thing out, ready to use, without any construction required.
And that, right there, is really the secret to fluency. It's the ability to string these chunks together smoothly, without weird pauses in the middle of them. That's what makes someone sound comfortable and totally natural when they speak.
So, there you have it. We've gone from the tiniest vibration in the throat all the way to complete, prepackaged phrases. Communication is so much deeper and richer than just the words on the page. So I'll leave you with a question. Now that you know about all these hidden layers, what unspoken messages are you going to notice in your next conversation?